Alright, I'm going to put the engine nacelle on the opposite end, on the bottom end. And because I forgot to mark it, take a straight pin and poke it through the crosshairs on the end of this one and also on the nose so we can get a straight line, and also on the back. Just put it on the crosshairs of the top markings. Put the pin all the way through. You got a couple of holes on the other side. Put a straight edge on it, and should have your center lines. Alright, we're going to start doing the bottom cowling or fuselage section on the underside of the SR71, on the underside here. And it really is almost identical front to back. The only difference is, here's a panel here. I've already got it joined in the middle, two pieces, and then what I did was I scored it with the needle nose of the pliers right down the middle so that I can get the area clearance. And once I folded it, then I put a straight edge on it and cut out 1/8 of an inch. And I just got to work it and work it and work it. So the bottom, the undercarriage is real shallow compared to what the top is, because we don't need the fuselage area on the top. We just need the platform to make it look kind of like a boat for the flying, for the shape of the flying fuselage. So here's the only difference between the two. They're the same length. Going to put one in front, one in back. One in front, one in back. The only difference is this is the straighter, flatter area right here on the fuselage side. Otherwise, the back side of it is more rounded. It stays a radial curve. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these two pieces together, tape them, flip it over, crease it down the middle, and then relieve 1/8 of an inch on each side so that I've got some clearance to fold it over. And after that's done, we get this situation here, and then going to go ahead and bevel the edge here so that it fits flush with the fuselage or with the mainframe. Alright, might be wondering how in the heck I hold this together, just myself, hold the pieces together and put the tape. Well, simple. Just put a straight edge on one side, pinch it together, make sure it's straight, put a little tab of tape there, hold these two together, put another piece of tape, and the same thing on the nose. Hold it together, put a piece of tape, and then trim it off on the end here. And now I can put the whole piece. Alright, just did the nose section. The underside of the nose section is real shallow compared to what the top is. Maybe you can see it from that angle. But the top is kind of tall. The bottom is real low because that's the undercarriage of the fuselage. And I've got about a 1/4 inch gap on the flare here. There's a 1/4 inch flat of the actual profile. And I use the fabric tack. I put a 1/8 and added a line 1/8 inboard and put the glue there because there's such a flat that you cut out to make it flat. There's such a flat there that it gives you plenty of bonding area so that the glue will spread. And just kind of just lay it on there, pull it off, lay it on there, pull it off until about the second or third time you get a good tack to it, and just stick it down. Follow your curve, adjust it, pinch it down all the way to the nose. The nose is going to have a little bit of a bow in it, but that's fine. It's real shallow and real weak, so you just stick it down. And there you go. The bottom half I got to stick on the tail end, and then in the midsection there's another piece that I've got to make. Here's the rear section. I don't know if you can see it from there. Let's see, midsection. Or maybe the tail section goes to about there. We're going to add about a 6-inch piece in the middle. But we got nice square edges here. Take and hold it upside down in the curved area. And then your estimated cut is going to be flat across there. So I just take and just start slicing it so that it looks flat. it's going to be about a half inch of material that you're taking out of there, and you want to go right to the edge. Just leave a little shoulder, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, because you can sand that at the end, and a sharp blade helps. Trust me, this one's kind of dull, but I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with it. But you get like a half inch of a bevel all the way across, and then do the same thing on the other side, half inch flat, so that when you put a straight edge on it, you've got a flat surface. Okay, I'm still working on the undercarriage. I've got to make the nacelle cones, and I've taken my blocks of foam, and then I've drawn out the shape, because they're going to be glued flush. And then I cut them out on the scroll saw. You could probably cut them out with a straight razor. So you have 2 pieces. I cut out 3 blocks, 6 pieces, 6 half cones. Then before I cut out the centerpiece, made my shoulder so that it'll capture the inside there and make it strong. And it's also a guide, it's locked in. Then I cut my inside piece to fit the jet. I cut it at about 2 3/4, and the OD is 2 7/8. So this way I know it's going to be a tight fit. If it's too tight, I can always bevel out. So I've got my piece cut into there, and then I've taken my second one and I've marked it up against. Actually, I sanded the surfaces so that they bond better. Otherwise it's real grainy. We get a good flat bond surface. Match these up, mark the inside, cut that out. Same thing. And then your next one. Here's one that's marked. I've got to cut it out. It's just a solid block. And then I've taken this and put it up against. Taken the marker, marked it. Now I'm going to cut on the outside edge of that mark. And then I can start shaping it. Now that I've got the 3 pieces cut out, the bottoms cut out to fit the duct, now I can glue them together, put them on a flat surface, make sure the edges are blended nice and evenly. I'm using 30-minute epoxy so that it'll get a good bonding surface. And this will be the nacelle, and then after it's glued and dried, then I'm going to start shaping it. I'll put a mark on the front end of the nacelle for the taper.